Hello everybody, Socksway up here with a new series, Cattle Ranch 25. We're on Comlands. As you can see, we have money in our accounts. We also have a loan. Finance is $500,000, and that's to basically give us a penalty for starting out with money. That's the way I want to do it this time around. I don't want to spend a bunch of time cutting down these things and making money. We know we can successfully do that. I don't want this series to be about cutting down trees, getting enough money to buy a sawmill, and make a bunch of money off the sawmill. We did that with the 5 and 5 challenge. We did that with Whiskey RP. We did that with Cattle Ranch last time. Let's just get to the point where we can make fields so we can make the products that we need to then have cattle. The money did change a little bit in those segments. We can see this cultivator that we bought, the International Harvester cultivator, the 45 Vebra shank. And it's going to be our main tool to create our fields. So $94,000 left. We have a tractor. We have a cultivator. We don't have a way to really make any money yet. So that's something we have to keep in mind. We need some income coming in, and we'll maybe think of some ways to do that. Maybe a greenhouse does make sense early on. We did that in Cattle Ranch, and it was an OP greenhouse. This time we can use base game ones. And maybe that's the route to go. We'll do some lettuce or something, but that would also mean we would need a tractor that was able to move pallets around. And I don't believe this has a front loader. $94,000 is gonna be tough. I think it will be tough enough. And then paying off that $500,000 loan, we'll have to keep that in mind that we gotta pay it off before we really say we're successful. And I gotta be honest with you, I want that done in less than 2 years. That is the main goal. We'll be having the debt paid off in 2 years while we're building this beautiful ranch. Now, as far as our area is concerned, I think what I want to do is give myself a little bit of an outline. You know, we're not going to make a ton of money off of silage either. That's kind of the decision that I've made. And I want to just turn around and get in a little better starting spot. Let's go about right there. Make sure we're facing exactly 90 degrees. We'll lower it. We'll activate fields. We'll drive forward. And we'll try to keep it at about 90. So the outline is done there. You can see we went a little bit past it, but I think that is actually where the field property line is. So it's a little bit beyond the back line here. And it cuts right there. So we have that nice, you know, kind of triangles type shape on both of these. And then this just little area, you can see it comes straight right here where I want to designate for the house to begin with, at least on this plot of land. We might find a different plot of land as we expand. We might want to put it right on this cliff edge, like the backyard. Maybe we do clear all this out here eventually, and that's where we live, and we do that lumber work because it's something we want to do. All right, so big decision time. I want to kind of look at a few things here, and we're going to talk through it. So greenhouse wise, we have $3,000 for the small one, and that is a rice sapling, so we don't want that one. But the $36,000 greenhouses are the ones that are really going to make sense. I don't want to do the mushrooms. I think we would just do lettuce because they are the most profitable. And look at the angle on this property. Oh, no flat land anywhere. Nope. How about over here? This isn't terrible. So we might designate back here to do some stuff like that. And I think if we save $36,000 and then jump into the store, the cheapest one here is about $6,000. Okay, that's 2,080 liters. And then let's see if this other tractor, I don't think it can have a front loader either. What about the Ford? It's $44,000. Attachments, I don't see anything for that either. Front loader. So that does have one. So $45,000 might be our best bet here. That might have been what we should have started with, huh? Does the Chalmers? Little tiny guy. Alice Chalmers. And maybe we find a skid steer or a cheap, forklift that we could add. The next thing I want to kind of look at is cedar wise. We do have these ones. So we're probably going to go with this to start with for our cedar. I do know we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and buy this. So this should get us by for a while, and just kind of thinking through some things. We're going to need a way to make money, and it might be hay, guys, at first. It might be hay, but I'm kind of thinking about buying everything that I know I'm going to need. So the next necessity would be a harvester, really. So we cultivate, we can plant, and we got to be able to harvest. And then we need something we can put the grain in. So a grain cart Those would be the absolute necessities to avoid doing silage or any grass work to begin with. But we want cattle. We do want cattle, so we know we need 2 field types for that. We're gonna want straw for manure and for TMR, and we're gonna need hay and silage. And that's just the reality of it. So I think what we're gonna do is this side here, we're gonna make a decent sized field for probably planting barley. So let's switch that now. So let's drop that because we need the field first. Oh no, we're gonna lose it. I think it might stay there now. Okay, Chris. You want to stay far enough off the road. Those are the style of fields that I do like. So, it is now time to make our first field. Let's get rolling on Cattle Ranch. There's the outline done. I want to take a better look at this. There's a good look at the outline, and we're going to get rid of the border momentarily, but just wanted that to help me out. I think that's a good sized field to start with. And just a tiny little speck that we missed. But thinking through this, we definitely need a way to make money, and waiting an entire, like, we do the like calculation here. We plant some wheat. We wait till next, July or June to harvest it, or barley, whatever we decide. And then we sell it in December. So we're looking a year and a half before we have any money coming in, and that's not going to cut it. So what I'm thinking of doing is looking around and seeing if we can find some cheap hay equipment. It doesn't pay as well as silage, and it definitely fits what we're going to want to buy long term anyways. So what a view. Gosh, what a view. What I came up with is this guy, $800. So we're going to go with the tedder. We're gonna let's go like this blue color for the tedder. Yeah, we'll do that for the tedder. We're gonna buy it, and then we'll change this to windrower, and I want to go like red. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. That'll be for the windrower. And we found this little bar. I hope it works. It's only has no setups. It's 2 meters width, and it's $1,000. And then we're gonna need something to pick up the hay with, so we're gonna go with this for $11,500. So next, let's look at the calendar. So if we're gonna do barley, we can't even plant until September. So we got that field prepped for that. I guess it's time to go pick up the mower. Starting to get a nice pile of equipment. Are we gonna be able to remember blue for tedder and red for rower? Red rower, I guess that makes sense. I already see something that I'm not okay with. It's broken. Oh man, I hope that mod works, guys. I don't think this mod works, so we'll be looking for a different mower. We will go with this International for $9,000. It just goes with the set. Yeah, this looks good together. I guess I was also assuming that we actually had grass that we could cut here, which is not the case. I just want to test something out real quick. Yep, that is the case. Okay, we have this stuff purchased, but we're not... Yeah, that was a mistake. We're not necessarily going to be able to use it today. We need to establish a grass field. We need to get grass planted as soon as possible. So that's going to be the audible we're going to call. And we want to keep in mind that we want to save some of this for cattle. So I'm going to cultivate over what I just did here. We can always change it later. Let's just get this a decent sized field going here so that when November comes, we should be able to cut it. And done with that phase of it. Let's go ahead and put the cultivator away, fold it up. It's done for quite a while, I guess. I don't know the next time we'll have to cultivate. It'll probably be after we harvest next year. A good spot for it now. Let's go grab that seeder. No time to waste. Double check some of our assumptions on the field state here. It's gonna need, it does get 50% fertilizer, which is nice. And it did not take away the plowing state. Actually, we're gonna shut that off. I don't play that way. Periodic plowing is off, so that'll be fine. It does need lime, and yeah, so that's it. We don't have money for that. Really got to hold on to this money for that harvester. All right, let's make sure we switch this to grass. And it feels a little familiar, but you know, farming is very familiar. So we got to get over that. We got to just know we got to do things to make money. And some of it's going to be tedious and repetitive. Now, if I remember, you just lower this, right? You don't even have to turn it on. Oh, don't tell me this doesn't work either. lower cedar, and then is it planting? Is it planting? Crop type grass. It is. Keep on cruising. And I guess I will do the headland, even though we don't plant that way anymore. But it is a habit of mine that I'm trying to break. And we'll do ups and downs and get these areas that we're missing. I guess let's just hug the line. Kind of unfortunate that we couldn't make money directly off the grass, but it is what it is. Adds to the difficulty. Cruising through this, and I'm kind of wondering, with these field shapes we're making, what is the steering assist gonna look like? Let's do like minimal headlands, and then gosh, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. The power of our tractor is gonna allow us to pull this off, but otherwise this up and down here on this hill, it's a little rough. I think this will be the most efficient way for me to finish this job though. Let's get rolling. I'm legitimately worried about this debt. We'll see when it's September how much each month's gonna cost us, and we're only gonna have 2 cuts. I think we'll get 2 cuts of this grass to sell hay before it's time to make sure we can purchase the harvester. This is gonna be tough, guys. I actually feel like I set this up pretty tough, but that's all done. Let's double check the map and see how that's looking. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All kinds of grass there. All this extra area that we can use. Oh man, we should have gone big. Should have gone big. There's a chance we go bankrupt and fail this entire series. And hopping up into the sky to kind of see what we ended up doing with these roads. We just kind of connected them up with the existing ones. Kind of just give us an established area. This one will probably change a little bit and go all the way into there once we own that land, but not a bad first episode. We got our nice international tractor here, our farm all. International mower, seeder, cultivator. There's a trend. And of course, the F-250. Welcome back to Cattle Ranch. Everything's where we left it. We have a few things to resolve here. You can see it's still August. We need to put our bed down. And to start with, since we don't have money for our house, we're gonna be sleeping in a tent for a while. There it is. $50 or $77 after the terraforming, and it looks very relaxing. The other thing we're gonna do is we did get confirmation that the repair facility is not part of the map yet. So what we're gonna do is put one down and give ourselves a refund for it, because that should be part of the game. I'm just trying to figure out where it would be non-destructive. Let me try a few things out. I think for now we're just gonna put it like right here, and that's gonna just be our facility there. So the first thing we would do is let's not enough space to unload, really. All right, we go right there. And the mower is gonna make its way to the river or the lake? No. But let's go ahead and hop over here and run into this. Oh, we didn't give ourselves a refund for that. It was 12,000. Okay. So now we should be able to hop in here and adjust this. We absolutely are gonna need the add-on for the separate fertilizer placement. Now money should be all set. Yes. Okay, so we have fertilizer selected or slot here and a seed slot. And that should be real good in September when we want to get the barley planted. We'll buy some fertilizer. But first things first, let's go ahead and sleep. We'll make it September. Yeah, we'll get started with episode 2 of Cattle Ranch. Okay, loan interest is $1,600 and then property maintenance is $60. So about $1,700 is what we're gonna need a day to keep us afloat, which isn't too bad. That's not too bad. So we got some grass growing. It would be nice to get another application of fertilizer down here. Yield bonus is only 57%. If we could get it at least to that 82%, I believe it is, that would be lovely. Let's see what we have mod-wise. It would be ideal to find something that can do lime and fertilizer, like this guy right here. All right, $3,450. We're gonna buy that. And then the big expense is gonna be the fertilizer. So let's do that first. We got some time to kill. There's something else we need to buy though. Something else. We're not gonna do it yet. But I did find a mod that will allow us to put a front loader or pallet forks on the rear. This one's 10 grand though. But if we look at the ones we downloaded, there it is, 3,500 bucks. Hope it works. We'll get that later though. That'll be part when we look into, we're gonna do some math. We have around $59,000 right now, and we're going the wrong way. And we have some things we need to buy. We about 50 grand right now. I'm gonna look for some more mods, but let me just catch you up on what I'm thinking here. So the big ticket thing's gonna be a harvester, and we have this old New Holland here for 55,000. Plus, when we go to combinations, we're gonna have to spend 20 grand on the headers. So we don't have enough money now. We need $75,000 just to harvest our field, unless I find some other mods that are a little cheaper. No leasing on this playthrough, kind of regretting that at the moment. We might be screwed. We might be screwed. But we're gonna hopefully cut some grass and make some money between now and then. I made this tough, guys. All right, we're filling up the joint over here. We gotta start getting our stuff moved, and we will today, because we're gonna use all this in today's episode. So we'll be making some progress today. We'll probably get all the way through November, I'm thinking. But we'll see. What's the capacity here gonna be? That's not terrible. I was a little worried about that, but it took the whole thing. It's a glorious mod. All right, let's go get the grass field treated so we can get that extra, I think, 15% bonus, if not more than that, for the yield. And then we're gonna have to get the barley in the ground. And you know, I'm kind of debating, do we even do barley? Do we wait to do something like soybeans? Or do we do grass in that field as well? Like, it's just, you know, starting to get a little stressed about the financial aspect of it, and I still don't know my way around. I made this pretty tough, but the 1,700 a month isn't terrible for the interest, and we'll just have to chip away at that long term. But we'll do some math here in a little bit about a greenhouse. The problem with the greenhouse is we're not going to see our money from it until at least a year. Even if we do the large greenhouse for $36,000, we're gonna make roughly around $35,000 a year in lettuce. So that doesn't really pay for itself until actually a full year. So getting up to the dollar amount that we need by the time we need the harvester, it's gonna be tricky. Unless we make a lot more money off the hay than I'm expecting us to, which hopefully we find out today. All right, interested to see the width on this thing. I didn't look at it while we're in the store, but it's basically our best option here. And let's go ahead and lock in, turn it on. It's pretty glorious, as long as it doesn't drop super fast, which it seems a reasonable rate. All right, let's bust this out. And just a little speck here that we need to finish. We'll check the map and make sure, but I think we got it all taken care of as of right there. All right, let's double check. Man, I wish the roads we made would show up on here. Fertilizer is good there. So the thing we could do, thinking through this, let's look at the calendar. So we can plant barley here in September. It would be ready in June. If we planted it in October, well, either way, I guess, if we waited till July to harvest it. So we could get it planted, just get it done. I think what I want to do first, though, is actually let's have the time move so that it's legit, and let's go ahead and put this down. Probably want to unload it because we'll want that in the cedar eventually. So let's think through here, and I think I am gonna go up here and place down a greenhouse, and we're gonna go with the big one. It's just not flat enough. If we go this way, would that be better? I mean, it's just gonna ruin the terrain a little bit. Overlaps with objects. I don't understand this game, guys. I don't understand why it does that. Let's go look at this now. That's a little rough. That's a little rough. Yeah, let's fix it. Probably do a little quick time lapse for this so you guys can see how I'm gonna fix this. Okay, that's a lot better. And yeah, I do cosmetic stuff for free. That's the way I'm doing things on this channel. So we got the greenhouse installed. Next, we want to hop back in the store. And this cheapest one, man, that's rough. I think we could utilize the truck here. We're gonna have to go adjust and get the hitch added that I did not do at the beginning. And I don't know which one it's gonna be. So we have attachments here. Luckily they're free. I'm gonna try the ball hitch. I believe that's the right one, but it might be, it might not be for this. It might be the pin. So we'll have to drive back and forth if that's the case, but let's go pick that up and we can get the greenhouse activated, start creating some lettuce, and then we'll probably, we might look into buying, actually let's cut this way. We'll look into buying some lime, and we could probably lime this field now that we have that spreader. And I don't know how much it's gonna take. Ugh. Be multiple trips to the store and back for that. But we also wanna get the rear forklift because that's gonna be the way we're gonna be able to sell this stuff. All right, we got a plan. Let's get it in motion. All right, it was the right hitch. Okay, let's do a few trips here to start getting the greenhouse populated with water. I think we're making progress, but it would be nice to have multiple greenhouses, but we just can't afford it. Down to $16,000. I'm a little worried. We might lose our first crop that first year. It's nice to see stuff coming together though. Need to get this road connected eventually, but we do want to go this way because the entrance I believe that we need is right over here. Our nice road connection there. Looks pretty good. I need to work on it a little bit more. But if we head right down here, we should be able to get right to the lake and grab some water. All right, backing on up. Are we in deep enough? We are. All right, not too bad. Super close to where we're going. So it's, whoa, just over 2,000 liters per trip. Gonna take a little bit. Okay, we'll see how annoying this is. Yeah, that's pretty rough still. All right, let's deposit some water here. Let's go inside and get this thing activated. And yeah, we're just gonna do lettuce, and we want it output type storing. We want it to, yeah, storing. All right, we already got 2 lettuce in there. And yeah, 40,000 is what this thing can hold. Let's do some math here. It's gonna use 8 water, so 8,000 a month. Okay, just over, so we'll get it up to about 10 at least. And I'll see you in a little bit. Oh, I love that a door shuts. Okay, so it opens and shuts when you get out. It's so nice. Let's show it. Let's show it in real time. Open, close. Get out, open, close. Nice. All right, so we have, wow, it's busting through that. It is busting through that. So we almost got it up to 10,000. So that will be enough for this month. So that'll be a chore that we have to do every morning until we get a bigger tanker because, you know, I don't have the patience to do that many trips. Okay, $16,000. We gotta be wise. We gotta be wise. I don't know how much lime we're gonna need for that, but it would make sense. It would really make sense to do that. Let's see what the yield difference is. I think it's 15%. So we're at 80% here. It would get up to 95 if it was limed. So we would get an 80% yield bonus over there, but we're also gonna have to figure out something with weeds. What did we do, guys? Oh man, I'm so worried about money. Let's look at the calendar. What are the other options here? We could wait until, if we waited until spring to plant, that would give us some time to save up some money. And if we went with something like soybeans to start with, we could plant in April or May and wait till October or November to hopefully have enough for a harvester. I'm kind of thinking that's what we do, and we get to the first iteration of cutting this hay, making the hay and selling it, and seeing how much money we make off of that. Decisions. So if we cut in October, we would not be able to cut again in December. So I think we do wait till November for this to be at the second stage of ready to harvest and get the most out of it. If that's even a thing at this point in the game, I don't know. Yeah, decisions. The other thing I was kind of thinking about doing was placing down meadow so that we could cut the grass here, but I think that's cheating. Play the map as it was created. Okay, hear me out. I think we found a solution. I found another mod that's going to relieve my stress. It's only 30,000 for that, but does it come with a header? Let's find out. Yeah, 7,000, so 37,000. So that changes the barrier of entry a little bit for us, but it would not be able to do, it does do soybeans, but we can't even plant soybeans, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just go ahead and go with our plan, and I think what we want to do, we're just going to save the money. We're not we're not gonna do the lime this time around. Oh my goodness, Chris. All right, let's get the seed back in here. We'll get it set to barley. We need a planter eventually because soybeans are gonna be a lot more money. Well, hold on. Let's look at the calendar again. Canola pays better, but does it yield better? I'm gonna do some research real quick. I think we're gonna go with our original plan of barley. So I think that's the plan. So let's go ahead and get the fertilizer in here as well. And this should do us good, I think. You know, second guess myself every day of my life on this game. But this is cool. We're gonna get a crop in the ground. Decent sized field here. Hopefully we have enough product and we don't have to spend more cash because that seems to be the problem right now is money and making wise decisions. But is that not lowered? Now it's lowered. Okay. So if you unlower it when you're done, you won't be confused about the state of it. And then I guess at the top left, it does show me as well. Yeah, the more you know. All right, let's get far enough over here. Start cruising and see if this tractor can handle this hill. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do really short ups and downs, but it seems to be handling it just fine. We're gonna set cruise control at 10 and bust this out. Oh boy, I'm struggling a little bit. But we're getting going here. Just cleaning up these spots that we kind of missed, and then we'll get rolling. I think, gosh, I'm thinking through this, and we're gonna go through a lot of years on this cattle ranch this time. And those of you who, I know we're gonna get the comments, you're gonna call this cattle farming. We're not gonna have cattle for, at this point, we're probably not gonna have them for a couple of years because of just not being able to afford it. Yeah, that's part of the beauty of this series is working our way up to being able to build a just ridiculously awesome cattle farm and having a lot of cattle long term. I want to go completely overboard compared to last time. We're going to make a lot of money off of milk and butter and all of the things. We'll probably have water buffalo as well. We'll have some dairy cows and some meat cows. I don't know what the actual farming term for meat cow is. I need to look that up. 2025 is going to be the year I get myself educated on these terms. Let's get this done. About a little more, I think maybe a little more or less than halfway done here, pretty close. And we're still above 50% on both products in the seeder, so we should be good to get this done without having to add more seed or more fertilizer. So I think as far as product are concerned, we're good for this year. I do want to look into a hoe and see if we can get one of those going to take care of weeds, see if there's a cheap one available to us. Got to come up with $20-some thousand by July. I didn't realize how steep the slope was on this field. I wonder if that harvester is even going to work. It'll be tough. It'll be fun. We're close though. We're close to being out of the real scary times here now that we found that other mod. Yeah, let's finish this up. And just cleaning up a few spots that we missed. But we're all set here. All done. Plenty of barley left over. Let's just get this put to the side. And now the decision to, are we going to cut the grass in October or wait till November? And I think we're going to look at the prices and see if it even makes sense to cut it in October because we have nowhere to store it. We got to sell it right away. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, hay's going to be much better in November than October. Not quite peak, but that'll be it. So let's take a look at weeders now. Yield improvements, what we're looking for. And weeder can do small weeds, improve the yield, but can only be used the first growth stage. So this is what we want, another $6 grand. Let's buy it. All right, outside of that, the only thing we really are gonna need is to chase our cedar all the way down the hill. I guess yeah, you stop there, okay. All right, let's go get the weeder, get the weeds taken care of. And then, yeah, so now we're looking at that grind, about $30,000 we're gonna need between now and July. Oh, there's something else we need to buy. There is something else. Let's just buy it so we have it. I'm gonna go with this. We'll go with this one. It matches a little bit better. Money, we're broke. We're broke. But we need that. We can't sell the lettuce without it. Alrighty, this should be probably the best purchase we make, like width-wise, and the amount of time it takes to do this isn't bad at all, because we get to cruise pretty fast with this thing. We're gonna go a little slower than that though. Yeah, about right there. That feels about right. All right, not a lot to see here. Let's get it done. And that should do it. Feels good. This field's all taken care of except for lime. You know, we probably could have snuck in buying the lime and doing multiple trips to get that done, but I just a little bit concerned about the cash. We're broke. $6,000. It's gonna be a grind. I'm excited for it though. It's gonna feel so rewarding when we have huge equipment. We're not using these little ones anymore. The next thing to do today, we're gonna fill up the greenhouse a little bit more because we're probably gonna get all the way to November right now. All right, so we lost a little bit more cash. We slept through the night. This says it's ready to harvest, but we're gonna go one more. 80% yield. Okay, we're gonna go one more month before we cut it. Let's go. Yeah, I'm interested over here though. 3, wow, and almost a fourth one. When these are at top price, they're almost $4 grand each, aren't they? 3,300. Okay, so this is like 10,000 right here. 10,000 a month. Okay, I think we're gonna be fine. Let's go look at the barley field. Yeah, 80% yield bonus as well. I don't see any weeds. I think we did a good job. All right, we have enough water to get through. So we'll go ahead and make it November so we can get started cutting on the grass. Ooh, look at that. Look at those colors. Got a little distracted there. Yeah, this is nice and ready to cut. We only have $2,700 in the account. Let's make that a little different today. And away we go. It's gonna put a nice swath down, which is gonna be a little frustrating when things are said and done because of having to ted it up and then row it again. But selling grass itself just doesn't seem to be worth it. We can look at the price difference between grass and hay and decide on that. But I think it's time to just focus on getting it cut, and we'll go from there. It's all cut. It's all cut. Wow. Man, I can't wait to upgrade equipment. This feels like it's gonna be so freaking rewarding, guys. All right, let's get the tedder. Gotta remember that's blue, but this is gonna roll, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Those guys are gonna go hang out. I don't know the best route to do this, so we're just gonna cruise around and see how it feels. That's crazy. Speed override is not on. So we might actually use cruise control to do this a little more sane. Yeah, that feels a little better. Just felt a little out of control there. So we'll cruise around, and it looks like these areas where I did put a little bit more grass is cutting now, but I might check this whole field because it looks different. So that whole area to our left, or our right, we might cut in December to get some extra money. We'll test it out though. But first things first, let's get this all tedded up. Get the rake over here, get it rode up, and see about making some money off of hay. I never checked the prices, so we're just going with hay. So this has to be the worst tedding job anyone's ever done in the history of Farming Simulator. I can't figure out where this tedder wants to be to get this full row. And it seems like we just have to drive right on top of it. We can't go a little bit to the left or right. So the width is a little troublesome here. So, you know, just Everything's going to need to be upgraded long term. Just got to get by these first few years of struggling. And I think we're going to call this good enough once we do this last little row here. Now it's time to head to the store, pick up the rake, and get this into nice swaths, because that field, yeah, that field's a mess now. I think we're going to risk that the tractor can handle pulling the harvester, the forage wagon, up this entire hill. So we're going to go just straight this direction. Probably curve it with the field, but try to do as little, you know, as swaths as possible, as few swaths as possible. And no headlands here, just kind of cruise around, and we'll just turn around and go back up the field this way. I think would be a good approach, as long as we're getting far enough over to the left here to start with. So now this is the tricky part, making sure we're getting close enough but not too far to be able to really efficiently build these swaths. And that seems to be doing it. Yeah, I think this will be good. As I get towards the end here, I don't feel like the L shape was very intelligent. I think we'll figure out a better path next time. I think just going straight and dealing with the shorter areas is just fine, but it's going good. It's going good. You can see we just have this little corner to do here. And thinking through it, there's no reason with seasonal growth enabled for us to pick this up. The field's not going to grow in December. It's not going to grow in January either. So we could, you know, just wait till hay is at the best price and pick it up then buy some lime with the money we get and try to, you know, get lime put down and fertilizer put down before it starts growing again in spring. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and finish rowing this up, and then we'll double check that the greenhouse has enough water. I think it still will for December, but we might need to add a little bit of water. We'll double check that. But first things first, let's get this done. And finally done. All right, let's put this away. We'll check on the greenhouse. Yeah, that's, I see one I need to clean up a little bit. I see one we're going to need to clean up. Otherwise we're going to be pretty mad when we come here to do the harvesting. Oh my goodness, Chris. Yeah, I want to clean this up because otherwise we're going to be pretty annoyed when we come in here with the forage wagon to pick this stuff up. And I think the rest of them look pretty clean. That one was just a little bit of a mess. All right, now we're done. We'll check the prices. We'll check on the greenhouse to make sure it has enough water and capacity, because look at this. All I see is dollar signs. So about $24,000 right there. We're on our way, guys. We are on our way. Farmyard is much needed. Hay prices are at $182 right now at the animal dealer. It says $186 is the peak. So I think we are going to risk it. Let's check the greenhouse now. We have 9,000. Yeah, I think we'll do a couple loads here, and then we'll make it December. And I'll probably do the old slowly increase time, check the prices, and see if they get to that peak number. If they get to the peak of 186, we'll probably just, set it to ×5 at that point and start selling. But time to get some water. Boy, these are going to be long drives back and forth. We are in December. We have $990, so just in time to make some money. $185 right now. We're going to see if we can get it above that peak price and then start selling. Maybe get the sun to rise a little bit too. It's a dark one. A little bit of snow going on. It won't stick though, don't worry about it. But I am interested to, validate that this thing works and how much one of these passes is gonna fill this thing up. So we're gonna do that. Keep an eye on the prices still. But it should be real easy to just pick these up. And yeah, it's filling up pretty slow. All right, we're at peak price. Let's go ahead and slow down time to 5. Gosh, this is gonna be not that much money. That's okay. We got our secret weapon in the lettuce. Okay, ran into that. But on the bright side, there won't be too many trips back and forth. This thing seems to hold a lot. Quite a few passes to fill this thing up. I mean, we might only get 2 loads of this, maybe 3. And these are only gonna be what, like maybe 4,000 per load? Yeah, hay's just not the best to make money, but it's a means to make money and we need it. All right, let's head in. Let's find that dealership or the sales location. And I think the best way to do that is probably to go ahead and tag it. It says only 800 meters away, but boy, it's going to feel like a lot more going this slow. It's piled up there too. That's hilarious. Hay will be flying everywhere right now. Now, I only put about maybe probably like 2 hours into this map in FS22. So I don't know where I'm going. Hopefully that tag is actually at the right spot, because otherwise it's going to be fun trying to figure out where to sell this. Yeah, it looks like that is a good spot. Oh, right. Not too bad. Is that Kate over there hanging out? Is that her name? NPCs. All right. Says we can sell hay here. Let's see how much each load's going to bring in. It's definitely going to cover our interest for a few months. Well, that's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. We'll take it. 5,600. All right, hopefully we have at least one more full load, and then all that lettuce is going to be ready in February before we can do anything else with our fields. So looking good. It's looking up and up. We have a path. All right, some good news there. We did fill it up again with a little bit left to do. I think we'll get, I don't know, maybe 100,000 more liters. But let's head back to the store, sell this again. See if prices are going up or down. They're staying about the same, which is good. Dropping off our second load of hay. It should put us around, 13,000? Almost, 12,000. All right, let's go get the rest of it. First selling session. Exciting. Faster tractor would be nice. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how much we got left over in the field. So we almost did 3 loads of this, which is this is pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Let's go get it sold, see what our dollar amount is for the day. All right, moment of truth, see where we're at. Just throwing that hay in the ground. Yeah, come on, 16, give me 16,000. We're at 16,000, beautiful, almost 16,500. This thing is huge. Look at it compared to me. Holy moly. Thank you for hanging out on today's episode of Cattle Ranch. Join us next time to see if we can secure enough money to get that harvester and harvest that barley. I'm Socks Way Up. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome back to Cattle Ranch. It is still December. I did want to get some lime put down and fertilizer on the grass field. And then today, we're going to see if we can make enough money to buy that harvester. We got a good amount of lettuce to sell. We got our rear pallet forks here. We finally got that implement picked up from the store, bringing it home with us. The truck is also at the store right now with another bag of lime and the rest of the seed we had left over. So we'll have to get that home. But I'm hoping 4,000 liters of lime is enough. You can see the money is a little lower than it was when we left off last time because I did buy a pressure washer and I bought the lime as well. So hopefully that didn't burn through too much cash to hold us back from buying that harvester. But hopefully today we will find out. All right, so 1,000 per load here. We'll see. I'm hoping this only needs about 2,000, but we know lime just doesn't last as long, or it doesn't go as far as other products do. So we'll see. Let's lock into place though. Make sure we don't waste any material by using the assist, the steering assist. But yeah, look at that dropping so fast. We knew lime was that way. It's okay. Just take a little bit longer by having to constantly fill this up. And we'll have to bring the truck down with the other bag of lime here momentarily. Let's get it done. Looks like it's just about the right amount. Gonna be a little spot that we don't get here, but I think we'll live with that. Let's take a look at the map. Yeah, we might, I don't know. Should we get more? I think it's fine. The question I have now is, do we have enough fertilizer to get this thing completely flipped? And we know we'll get a little bit better of a yield because of that lime than we did last time, which is, exactly what we're looking for. Let's see. I don't know if the width is the same, so let's go ahead and drop that, and we'll come over here and get reestablished on our guided steering. All right, let's get it done. And let's see if we have enough fertilizer here. And then it's just wait for this to grow and wait for the lettuce to be at a good price. Because, again, I don't think we're going to do much lumber, at least early on. Maybe later on. And all complete. A little bit of fertilizer left over. Pretty nice. I have a feeling the terrain is going to be an issue here because it doesn't get low enough. Even though we lower it, I can't tilt these forks. So going downhill like this, it does grab on. We just didn't get straight there. Let's see if we can line this up a little better. And it's going to be fine, I think. Oh, if I use the right buttons. Let's see, lifting it. Seems good. And another one should spawn, yep. And just lower it like that, pull forward, and grab the next one. I think we could probably grab 3 here. Go forward a little bit. Yeah, beautiful. Just stay balanced, please. And I think that's about what we would want to grab at one time. And worst case scenario, I guess we could just drive each time, because filling this up in the back of the truck until we have money for a trailer is going to be tough. Especially with the ground not being very flat. Now this is the confusing part to me. The fact that you can't lift these without super strength, even though it's well within our strength reach. So we are gonna take advantage of that. The other thing I've kind of forgotten about at this point is a grain cart and silo setup. There's no way we're gonna be able to afford a silo anytime soon. So even getting like the cheap ones, just money's not in our favor right now. And yeah, that's gonna be tough. Let's try to get 3 more and load them on. And then we'll probably make it February at that point. I just want to make sure this process was gonna work for us. Gotta do what we gotta do. And these are gonna be tough days, but eventually we'll have better equipment to make this a lot faster. All right, so we should be able to do the same thing we just did and push those other ones a little further back. Ah, did we miss? We missed. Yeah, I don't know if more than that would be wise per trip, especially since we're gonna need to get some water here in a minute to fill up the greenhouse, but we know our process works. As of right now, we have these 6 and then we have 7 more here. So we could probably pull that off in 2 trips, but between now and February, we're definitely gonna have more spawns. So it's time to make sure we have plenty of water to get through to that point and see if this thing's gonna stay stable. Oh, we're gonna have to cruise real slow. Is this thing functional? Oh, that's sad. It's February now, and I should have checked in January because the prices are below peak. I forgot to check. So let's go ahead and get this group sold. We'll get all of the lettuce sold right now and see where the money's at. Interest is hurting us, so it's gonna be close. Gosh, it's gonna be close. Farmers market's that way? All right, let's see what 6 is gonna bring in, and then we'll have kind of an idea. Oh, maybe it all does go to that side. I figured it'd be like the other farmers market, but it's not. All right, hopefully it all goes in here, and it's not taking it. Well, this is fun. I was sitting here trying to figure out where they went. Well, we found the sales location. It was right there. Let's take a look here at finances. 19,000 was brought in, so let's head home and get the rest of this lettuce and see if we can get enough money for that harvester. I mean, if we do get enough money here, I don't think we're gonna wait. I think we're gonna just buy the harvester because I don't trust myself not to spend the money. And I think we're super close to where we might think about trying to make more money to get that New Holland. Let's go get the rest. And 19,000. So we're at 72. Let's remind ourselves what the cost is going to be for this. So we have the harvester here. That's 30. Okay, so I'm thinking we just deal with it. I think we did this last time, or at least old school had the very similar harvester. We're going to go buy this. The one thing that worries me is it doesn't have a corn header option, so we might be limited on the crop types we're gonna do for a while. So that feels pretty good though. Let's get this home. We're not gonna use it, but I don't want to keep it at the store. Maybe another header's compatible, but I don't know. But this will definitely give us a good start. It goes 14 miles an hour. That's pretty sweet. I know the capacity won't be very good, but for where we're at, this is honestly more than enough. An implement that could have harvested for us might have been a better route, but I think we'll dig this. I'm gonna see how the prices of lettuce are in March, and I think we might get to the point where the grass field is long enough again to do some more hay and get to that harvest. I want to get moving pretty quick on this series. Let's make some progress. And it will be interesting to see how long the lettuce prices are good enough for me to feel like we can sell more. It'd be nice to get another maybe 20 grand in from that. Kind of tempted to make a decision here to potentially save up and buy another greenhouse, because I guess that's the play here. But at the same time, I kind of want to save money to buy more land. Yeah, we do need to get some more water, so I'm going to make a few trips and get that taken care of. And prices aren't too bad compared to February, so we're going to head over here, sell these 4 just to get the money up there. And in case, you know, thing we have to keep in mind is stuff's going to pop up here. Gosh, I don't want to go with that. Why is that the one that popped up here? The same thing we have on multiple series. 2 tractors could really speed us up, though. We're going to pass on that one. There's another 12 grand. So yeah, still pretty good for lettuce, but I think that'll be the last time we sell until next January, potentially. Let's go check on the grass field. I don't think it'll be ready until, it might not be till April. So we might be sitting here doing nothing, twiddling our thumbs for a little while. Yeah, and we can check it this way. Growth stage, we want to see, oh, harvested. So it still shows harvested. Okay, why is that? Grass doesn't grow. It does grow in March, so I'm surprised we didn't get that first stage. Yeah, now I'm pretty confused. Shows harvested. Fertilized 100%, needs a rolled. I don't know. 185, 185, 185. This one's only 155. Huge slope though. 110 over here. What's 33? 170. I think 16 would make a lot of sense, and so would 19. But it's a lot of money we're gonna need. Okay, how did I open my hood? I mean, that's pretty sweet, but I don't know how I did it. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. All right, I think this is a good decision here. We have 2 of them. I created this huge slope here, but you can see I love the way they added this foundation underneath, so we can pull this off in the game now. To where this side doesn't necessarily matter to have the foundation exposed in a slope, where we would want it pretty flat over here for picking up the pallets. So that's good. So we got lettuce going in both of these. We'll get this one going. Probably need to fill it up a little bit more so we can get through a couple more months. But with $9,000, can we afford a bigger tank? No, not quite yet. Okay. But in theory, that should double the amount we make out of lettuce. Not in theory, it will. We might run out of cash before we're selling anything because of this interest that I've forgotten about. So now the grass is growing, now that it's April, and we should just be a couple months away from this barley being ready. Yeah, not quite yet. I think it's gonna be, let's look at it's the calendar. Oh, it's gonna be June or July. Okay, so we're in April, we're gonna get to June and get busy. A little different of a playthrough this time around, guys. Different style, using the seasonal growth. Oh, it looks like June will be the month, so good. So we'll be able to harvest both, which will keep us nice and busy and give us a lot to do in June. We're gonna do that harvest first though, and I don't know what we're gonna do for a grain cart. We're not gonna have money for it. $4,000, let's see if we can afford anything. Just short for this. What do we do? Maybe we think through that. Maybe we, gosh, we're gonna sell some stuff, but this is gonna take a minute. Swath is dropping. Harvesting for the first time on the new cattle ranch. This is awesome. Let's get these headlands done. See how quick this harvester fills up. Got some crop damage there, not too bad. Just a little bit. I think that's the only spot I noticed. I can't believe we're harvesting on cattle ranch already. This is sweet. And just about getting around the headland to fill this up. It looks like the capacity is gonna be close to 4,000, so not sure how great that's gonna be, but we're gonna be here a while. This field's pretty large and full. So now it's time we gotta figure out what's next, guys. Well, this is interesting. All of this lettuce is out here instead of here. I used the move mod and apparently that affected it. I might move them back because that looks terrible. Anyways, I was thinking we could sell some of this even though the prices aren't great, so we can afford something to put the grain in. And I think that might be the best option we have. But prices right now are, no, I guess they're not super terrible. So I am going to load a few of these up and we're going to get them sold. Let's make a plan and see how much money we want though. I think we want to go with something decent that we could live with for a while. Maybe like this right here. I don't know if that's going to be too tall for that harvester. But yeah, 20 grand is what we're going to aim for. If you're new to the channel, yes, I use auto load, but I make sure I have all the equipment that we could do it. I just play the way I enjoy playing. But I do like to make sure that we have the forks so that this is something that we could legitimately do if we spent a ton of time organizing the pallets in here. But I do use auto load. That's me. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you, to be honest. All right, let's see, 8,000. This should give us about $16,000 here. I gave us 22. My math is terrible. Oh, I guess it was 2,500 each, or about 2,800 each. So we can go pick up that. Can we pull it with this? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk that we can pull the gravity wagon with the truck, the Brent. I think we're gonna go, yeah, we'll go branded here. Farming Sim SWU loves that color. I think we're gonna have to get the tractor though. The greenhouse water is out. I had a feeling. Gosh dang it. Okay, of course. All right, let's go take care of the water on the greenhouses, and then we'll get the tractor up here to grab the gravity wagon for us, and then we're gonna get busy on that harvest. What time is this rain getting here? Oh, soon. Of course it is. Yeah, mixing it up here. The SWU colors match the truck a little bit more than it'll match the tractor. But let's go see if this is gonna be too tall for that harvester. I want to get a little bit more of this harvest done before that rain gets here. And it looks like it will go through the 10 o'clock hour, and then we have hail at 2100. Okay, might be too tall, especially at the angle we're on. Oh boy, it's too tall. Oh, lack of collision though seems to help, but why no unload? Oh, it found a little tiny sweet spot where it started to. Gosh. All right, let's get our 20,000 back. I don't know if it's the harvester yet though. We'll learn here. One of these days I'm gonna start testing things before we play. Okay, so we're gonna sell that. 17,000, we're gonna give ourselves 3,000 back. Hey, that's still here. Forgot that I left that there. All right, so something with that gravity wagon wasn't playing well. So unfortunately we lose the capacity we would have got there, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So we're gonna have to do a lot of selling today. Unless we find a spot to drop this, but I don't think I wanna do it that way. So slow to unload too. Definitely doesn't help when you got a storm coming. All right, back at it. See how much of this we can get done before the rainstorm. All right, second load is full here. Let's go ahead and hop in here and fill. Oh, okay, we're only at 44%. I thought we were at a little bit more, so that makes me feel a little bit better. So we'll be able to hold on to an entire trailer full until we need to actually sell it, or until the prices are good. If we look at barley here, all the way till December, and it's at a terrible price right now. So we will have to sell a little bit today, but we're gonna go as far as we can until that thing's full before we actually do that. And I don't even know why we're not even getting the indicator on here. So there's something wrong with this. Mod's not finished, I don't think. We might be focusing on upgrading the harvester sooner than I thought, but I don't think that's a bad thing. All right, let's keep going till that first drop of rain, and we'll take a break. And there it is. Try to get some ups and downs going, but we're gonna have to wait. And are we even able to? What is going on here? We're just not able to drive up there. I shut this off. Foot on the pedal. Come on. It's not that steep. All right, just get this lined up. And yeah, let's get through we're just gonna get through this storm. Should get sunny here in a second. I just love how this thing's going backwards. My foot is on the gas pedal and it's going backwards. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, lock it in place. I have to use cruise control apparently for it to go forward right now. Something wrong with my pedals potentially. Let's bust this out. We got to get this harvest done. We'll get the grain cart full. And this slope, it might be too much for this harvester. That might be the issue here. Let's do speed override and see. I don't even think that's going to make a difference. But we might have to do just go in. What direction is that? Can't even remember. Yeah, we might just have to go down the hill because this is not working. Rough start. Man, we got to make some money, get some better equipment. Feeling the pain of being broke here. Kind of regretting that $500,000 loan. That's holding us back. All right, let's see once we get down here if we can go back up, but probably just start busting this out again. And I'll talk to you in a little bit. There's our answer on cruise control. Oh man, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long one, guys. All right, we're gonna have to go up the hill at least for a little bit and it'll just come straight down. Okay, another full load here, and that should top off the grain cart. And we'll go sell this, and we're gonna have plenty more. I think we might fill this up at least one more time. You know, losing a little bit of cash, but it is what it is. Yeah, we gotta hope this is the only harvest we do with this harvester, because my sanity, I don't know if it can take it. Let's look at prices of barley now. Where are we selling this at? We are going to the grain silos. All right, away we go. I would hand over to a worker, but I feel like they're just gonna have the same problems I'm having and cost us money. All right, a little bit of cash coming in. Actually, that's not bad. That'll improve the mood. $7,000 about. All right, it's a start. All right, I think we might have enough capacity to get this finished. It was only the first few passes that we weren't able to go back and forth with how steep it is. So, I mean, we might be able to get by with this harvester for another year or so, but it's going to be short-lived. Should have just saved up enough for the New Holland, but we are going to hold on to all of this grain. Every penny's going to help. So we'll sell this come December. Find a good spot to put this trailer, which would be... This trailer would be nice to be able to turn into a flatbed too for the bale trailer to put the lettuce on, so we don't have to use the truck bed anymore and to do more at one trip. So we might pay attention to those prices and see if they're, yeah, it's December. I think we're just gonna sell it now, guys. Yeah, for my sanity at least. But we're doing awesome. We are making progress. We have all the equipment we absolutely need to keep going as a farmer right now. It's just progressing to that cattle state of being able to be a cattle farmer, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. We set this up difficult for a reason. I didn't want this to be a 4-year and done challenge or play through Rags to Riches series like last time with Cattle Ranch, which led to some burnout, and that's why we did the seasonal growth this time, just to make it feel more realistic when it comes to what we're planning and when we're planning it. I do love playing without seasonal growth, but I think there's certain series where that fits more, and the survival runs are usually those. But being that it's Cattle Ranch and I want this to be like the flagship series, I felt like doing it more realistic made sense with the seasonal growth on. I don't know why I just did that rant, but probably will leave it in the video. But we'll end today with a decent amount in the accounts and the debate of trying to pay some of the loan off versus just keeping going the way we're going and upgrading equipment and just dealing with that $1,000 a month that's really just going towards interest. That's the big thing with not using any other mods. When you're just doing the loans in the game, you're not paying off any principal, and that's what's going to hurt us because we're not going to, make any progress on the debt. So things to think about, changes to make. We got to find some more revenue streams, I think, and we'll be looking into that very soon. I don't even know my way around. Oh my goodness. What a confusing little store. But it's been fun. We'll keep progressing. We'll get, the straw picked up next episode, cut the grass, get the field planted potentially. Progressing really nice on Cattle Ranch this time. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're going to stick it out, see how this ends up, see how we progress. Socks way up. I'll catch you on the next one. Today, the priority is going to be upgrading our equipment so we can keep our goods until they're at the best price to sell. The big problem right now is we did cut the grass field overnight or before midnight so that we could get our grass field into the current state it's in and get an extra growth stage. So I didn't want to cut it in July, so we got it done in June. And I also cut this whole area. One of the things I failed to mention was, for some reason on this map, the first month, the meadow here, you can't cut it. but if you just wait a month, you can. So we did cut this whole area this time. The other concern I have is with this equipment, we're going to turn it into hay, row it up, and then you can see the forage wagon over there. It's full with some straw right now, but we'd have to use that and no way to store the straw or the hay. And looking at prices for straw right now, they're at $100, where they peak in December at $145. And for the hay, it peaks at $186, but we're at $154 today. So it would be nice to be able to get something to be able to store these until the prices are good. But we also don't have anywhere to store them except for just out in the wilderness here. Same with our equipment. I think it's starting to get to the point where we've been here, this is our 12th month, and we're living like slobs. We've got to stop. And since I did pick up some of this before I came to that epiphany that we need to upgrade, because if we don't, we're just moving too slow. I want to move faster. So we're gonna sell this first load of 30,000 liters of straw, and then probably sell this forage wagon as well, because we're not gonna need it after today. And we've made it. Let's see how much this brings in. It's not gonna be the best price, but this is our first time selling straw. $3,000 there, and we're gonna do this in probably a confusing order, but you'll see why soon. And we're gonna get $8,000 back for this. That's nice. Now, I've spent some money on a trailer, and we've also bought this new to us, manual sawmill here. We have some areas that we need to clear, and I want to use this sawmill to make some money from the trees that we have to clear no matter what. We're wanting a farmyard, we're wanting an area to build a house long term, and the requirement's gonna be, to clear some trees. So we might as well make some money off of that. It's not gonna be a big long-term business venture, just gonna take advantage of making money while we can off of the trees in our area that we want where they're gonna go either way to make the farmyard and house. So I figured we'd make a little bit of cash from it. But I'm gonna go get this sawmill set up, find a good spot for it, and we'll progress from there. Now, I've been thinking about this area, and there's not a lot of flat ground, and kind of looking, we do own all through here, and eventually I want to own the plot in front of us, but this area we're going to start clearing out. We got somewhat of a flat area right here that wouldn't be too bad for a farmyard. It's not completely flat, but I think it would work out good. I do want the sawmill somewhat close to the road, but we're also struggling with flat land to find there. Let me check over here, maybe by this fork in the road. Yeah, this might be a decent spot right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear a few trees. Oh, let's take a look at this. So we select this number. There's this little outline here that we don't own. Okay, so we do not own the spot that I want us to own. So I guess this side is where we'll have to go at it. So yeah, I guess right here we could clear some area, and yeah, we'll get as low as we can. All right, we'll have to get that stump removed later, but here we go. It's here. We just need to get some trees put in, and it took the trees that were just close to it. And look at that. Oh, you can't beat that. All right, let's clean this up just a little bit. I think that will do. Now let's get this thing activated. So this is gonna be the sawmill area, and I think we could come up here. There's just not a lot of room. Maybe on the other side of the road, we could do the same thing. So start clearing a lot of these trees. Yeah, and have a decent little start to a farmyard over here. All right, I'm gonna get busy for a little bit, but we'll probably take a break from this momentarily after I get a couple more trees in, because I really need to get that grass off of the grass field and turned into hay as soon as possible so that we can fertilize it and make sure it's up to par for the next harvest. With the goal today being all about saving our goods until it's at peak prices, we do want to limit the lettuce we sell today to just the necessities that we need to keep progressing. So what I'm going to do next is grab the old tedder. We're going to take that to the store, and we're going to sell it and buy the replacement. And we're going to keep going with this process until we have exactly what we need as far as equipment. And once we run out of money, we can sell some lettuce to keep funding this expansion that we're doing. That's the plan. Now, it did cost a good amount of money. We're down to $24,000, but the extra width on this thing, we can't beat it. We can't beat it. It should be what we use probably long term. I guess we could upgrade to an even bigger one, but this should be well worth it. It's so much worth the money, guys. These upgrades are going to be so nice today. Yeah, I just want to see this thing. Does it open up one more time? Yeah. Oh, this is glorious. This was the right move. Yeah, let's see how much better this does. And we have this entire area to ted up now that we're able to cut the grass over there. So it's a lot larger of a field than it was. You can see on the mini map, that's tiny compared to the whole thing that we got to ted up here. Absolute lovely piece of equipment. Let's go get phase 2 of this. They're absolutely loving me at this store with all this equipment I've been buying, and it's gonna keep continuing because we're gonna bring in more money quicker because of the efficiency we're increasing here. Time to get back, get this road up, so we can then figure out how we're gonna pick up hay without the forage wagon. Another impressive width compared to what we've been dealing with. This is gonna be amazing. Super excited to see how much quicker we can progress with this setup. Let's go ahead and fold this and get it over to the temporary farmyard area. But next is to secure a little bit of cash so we can get a round baler that I've seen in the store. Pretty good price for it too. Now it looks like a reset did, or a restart did, fix the issue with the pallet spawning in the wrong spot. So we should be good moving forward with this now. And I think 4,000 liters of lettuce is going to be more than enough for our next phase. Yeah, $11,000 puts our total at 16,000. So now let's take the trailer home and then we will head back to the store if we survive this hill. Nice. And for $12,000, we did get this Claus baler. Now, if you're wondering how we're going to move all of these bales, well, that's a problem for later on today. We just, we're just limping along, cruising along, crawling into the space we need to be in. That's going to really speed up our progress long term. But there's one bale, 4,500 liters. So each one of these bales we know is going to be 4,500. And this should be yielding a lot better than it did last time, except for the area that we've never cut. We're not really aware of how it yields, but you can see these swaths are very large compared to how they were the first time we cut the grass. So all is tracking the right direction. Yeah, I'm super satisfied with every decision we've made today. So far, we have 33 bales, working on number 34 right now. Not sure if we'll get enough, but we can unload the partial bale here. And there are some areas I could probably cruise around and try to find 18%. We got a lot more to get taken care of, though. I need to get that field sprayed and get these bales out of the way somehow. So maybe cruising around, picking up the odds and ends isn't going to be efficient for us. Yeah, I think we'll just deal with what we have. We can pick up the other ones later on, next time. So 34th bale is a partial bale, but it was about 90% full. What a great purchase. Yeah, very satisfied with every decision we've made so far today. Even running over the pallet there. I'm satisfied with that decision too. Wow, 91 degrees, gonna get up to 93 today. All right, next we gotta figure out how we're gonna move these bales and pallets. Because as we see here, we've already got one of each. So we're gonna get these loaded up on that trailer and a little bit of lettuce to fund the next step. Because as much fun as it is to drive backwards to do this stuff, I would much rather have a front loader. Yeah, between the terrain and just having to, not really see what I'm doing back here. Yeah, we need an upgrade. All right, we got the lumber all loaded up on here. We're gonna go sell it first and see how much more money we're gonna need. I think we're gonna need most of that lettuce to do what I wanna do next though. A nice, almost $19,000 brought in. Oh man, lumber. How I've missed you. We're not gonna over abuse it, but it's gonna get us by for a little bit. And 20,000 liters of lettuce getting sold here brings our grand total to $79,000 right now. We're gonna head on over to the store because we got something to pick up from there. And here we are, $55,000 later. We still have a little bit of money left over. So I messed up my calculations there. And we spent a little more than we needed to, but this Ford tractor is ours with the front loader attachment on it. And we're gonna grab the bale spikes for now. We'll come back and get the pallet forks later on, but this will allow us to do our own thing in a much more efficient way Look at these antennas. See if I can get them. Look at those moving around. Nice new Ford tractor. Always like to get the cab view in here. It's a little cramped, but at least we have windows and we're enclosed now, unlike the International. Oh, that's so nice. So much better. You can just do a little wave there, you know, kind of wave the forks. Yeah. Also, while we're thinking about it, we don't need this anymore. So let's go ahead and sell that for $2,600. So $26,000 in the bank now. The next thing we're saving up for is probably a shed. And then after that, the money's got to go towards new land, I think. I think what we'll do for now, since we don't have the shed that we want to put these bales in, is I'm going to just start picking them up and moving them off the treated field. And we'll get them moved over so that we can do fertilizer here. We're not going to worry about that other grass area, because I don't know if I want to turn that into something that we... Oh no, we messed up. I don't know if I want to turn that into something that we do, that we treat and have an actual grass field yet. I don't know how much hay we're going to do long term. I feel like today really set us up for figuring that out, though. And I was kind of interested to see if we felt like we needed a rear weight while we do this with these bales, but it seems like it's going to be able to handle it. So we're cruise on over here. Most of them are on the new field, luckily. So I am just going to make a pile over here for now. And we can get all of them all stacked over here pretty nice eventually. Maybe the shed does go over here. Maybe the farmyard goes over here and we're overthinking it. But I feel like it'd be wise to use the land that we have already cleared for fields long term. So just waiting till we expand to figure out exactly what I want to do with the rest of this land. All right, so we have our first worker ever helping us out on the farm. They're going to go ahead and bring these swaths together so that they're a little bit quicker to bale while I do the fertilizer on the grass field. But is 109 liters going to be enough for us? I don't believe it's going to be, but we got to use it first before we spend money, just in case it is. All right, we got a new load here just to finish it off. You can see we didn't even get around the headland with 100. We knew better, but we're almost done anyways. Not that big of a field. And the fertilizer is all done. I was thinking through my process here. This is a mess. That's a mess. And that was part of the thing today, is we wanted to get that all sorted out. We don't want messes anymore. So we're going to focus on getting what we need to get done for the rest of the month, which is just going to be baling the straw at this point. And then I will probably spend some time cleaning this area up and prepping it for the new farmyard. We got to clear a lot more trees for that, though, as well as, you know, move these around. Because, again, no more mess. No more mess. But they have plenty of a head start over here for us. Let's go ahead and get this straw picked up and all baled. The more I deal with the terrain here, the more I realize why we got such a good deal on this plot of land. It's just insane how steep this hill is. You can see we had some runaway bales. They're making their way down the bottom of the hill real slow-like. It looks like that one might have stopped, but you can see, yeah, we got one in front of me that is, you know, in the road now. But it gets it closer to where we want it long term, so I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. All right, and the last bale looks like it's gonna be a 98% full, which is completely fine. So I believe we have 16 out here. We spent a little bit of time organizing the bales over there. One thing I didn't show you guys yet is we spent a little bit of money getting a well installed, and it also pipes into these greenhouses. So we got them turned on to where they're automatically getting filled with water from the well now. It is going to cost us some money in the process there, but we won't have to drive back and forth a ton of times with this thing. Yeah, that's the plan. Well, this is the new area. It is August. We're starting year 2 officially. I'm not sold on it yet. This will probably be temporary. You see, we took a lot out of the cliff here to flatten this area out. And it'll work for now. I feel super organized compared to how we were. How are we looking over? Oh. That's a mess. That is a mess, but we do have 5,000 planks long, and 6,000 wood beams. We're gonna go sell them because most of these are pretty good prices. Not too stressed about the planks. Again, this will be temporary. It's gonna really speed us up though. We're not gonna be adding any more lumber in there. There's 22,000 liters left, so we'll let it go through that until we clear other areas, but that'll be it. But a pretty handsome payday here. $108,000 worth of lumber. I think this is the highest our account's been since we've started. Quite enjoyable. Means we're not too far off from being able to buy some more land. And I think we might look into buying a new spreader for lime here too. We're looking good over here, producing some more lettuce. Hopefully those don't have to be used or sold until February when the prices are good. So we'll park this here for now. And what I want to do is we want to get in the international. We want to get the cultivator going. And we need to start prepping the barley field for the next crop. All right, so we're grabbing the cultivator here with the international. We're going to get the field prepped up here. But I think while we have one of our employees that we've been able to find in this barren town, they're going to go ahead and get this all cultivated for us, and that'll allow me to head to the store with the old sprayer and see about an upgrade. Can't get over the antennas. That's so fun. All right, let me talk to them in here. See about getting a good deal if anyone's even home. I know I said we were going to save money for land, but I couldn't pass on the ability to buy this. It would be nice to see Comlands actually get a few more options in here. And by Comlands, I mean my mod pack. And with that purchase and sale of the existing spreader, they did throw in a full load of lime for us. Very nice of them. I think that should come with all purchases of implements, in my opinion. So you can see some of the equipment we've bought in today's episode is definitely going to set us up for long term, or at least midterm, I would say, depending on how big this actually ends up getting. And I kind of have aspirations for this to be a little bit larger than last time, when everything's all said and done. Okay, well, that was all the busy work for me right now. I think it's time to head on over and let our employee go for the day. Maybe we'll call him back later, but it's time for me to take over. As I'm finishing up here, I'm kind of remembering something. Let's take a look. Cedar. Yeah, I thought so. They're direct drills. But I think we might have needed to do this because of the rain damage, the storm damage. So I don't know if this was a waste of time and effort, but it's done. Either way. Alrighty, we're gonna hop in here and get going with one of those employees again to help us out. I think lime should be pretty quick and we'll be able to just kind of follow behind him and plant. I do need to double check if we're ready to plant this month or not. Can't remember. But first things first, we gotta get this put away and probably spray some of this stuff down. Yeah, I think it's time to do that. And then we'll get the good old cedar all prepared for another planting session. Just move this closer to the cultivator. You can see up on the hill there, that's kind of sweet, seeing them go to work on the lime. And we got 3 things here that we could spray, so let's get all 3 of them taken care of. Yeah, the mower, we'll get that in a couple months. We'll need to use that again. Actually, it might be September when we do that again. We are going to mix it up and go with canola this time. It is ready to be planted in August. I'm going to risk it. I don't think we're going to catch up. And away we go. Second crop going in the ground. Cattle ranch, some canola. finished with planting the canola. Starting to feel like we're outgrowing this as well. A lot of equipment got upgraded today. This didn't. But I think we'll be okay. Next, we got to take care of the weeds. And then in September, we'll have to add another layer of fertilizer, another application. And that field will be set. Boy, the efficiency of this thing. Must have Bobby over here working or something, pushing the logs through. Insane. Still 18,000 wood to go through. The other thing is we're actually producing wood chips too. So it's yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, we're gonna go sell the lumber we have. Just I want to see how close we are to buying our next plot of land before we make some decisions on the hay and straw, because we might be closer to cattle than I thought. And another 22,000, so we're a day or two away. You know, maybe September we'll be able to afford it with how much lumber that made overnight. Things to think about. I might, you know, park this. We'll park it by the lettuce for now, and I'm going to look at the plots of land and figure out that dollar amount that we're going to need so we know what we're targeting. 185 here. Yeah, about 185. So we're just about 100,000 away. And I've been thinking 31 or 16 is probably where we're going to go next. Eventually, we'll come down here on 19, but I don't think we want to rush that. But coming out here on 16, you can see it is relatively flat compared to the land we had, and that might be a better solution for cattle and an actual farmyard and not what we have set up. Thinking through it. And that did go through almost, you know, just over 10,000 liters of lime. I think I forgot to mention that we moved the campsite over here. You can see where we are. Yeah, I think that's where we needed it to be. Yeah, anybody wanting to really progress in FS25, that sawmill is on Mod Hub. I didn't realize how quick it's producing when I first installed it, but it'll be short-lived. Keep stressing that. We're at $79,000 after paying our interest overnight and paying for some water. September here. I don't know if this is going to quite push us enough to buy another plot of land, but it would be nice to keep us busy during the fall here while we have nothing really to do. 107, yeah, it did. It sure enough did. All right, it's gonna go think through some things, but the next task at hand is gonna be getting the spreader set up to help us apply some fertilizer to the new canola field. I haven't been looking at the used market enough. We should check that out. Yep, nothing really for us. Away we go, spreading some fertilizer. It's nice to use the Ford. I'm not gonna get a lot of use out of it, so I want to force it on the jobs that we can. And feeling pretty confident with our approach at the moment, and we're gonna be able to expand relatively soon. Though we still need to make sure we have everything we need, like money-wise, because of that loan. So we can't spend all $187,000. We got to keep in mind that we need to keep some money in the bank. Yeah, just it's a lot to think about, a lot to sort through. We don't want to make any poor decisions. But first things first, getting this sprayed, getting the fertilizer spread on this. And then I'm going to get the international going, or maybe we'll use this. We'll probably use this. We'll get it going with cutting the grass. We're just going to cut the main grass field that we've established this time. I don't see any reason to stress ourselves out over extra work right now. I like the pace we're moving. I think that would be the best way to keep the pace going the way it is right now. Yeah, 61 liters to spare. We'll have to get more fertilizer very soon. Possibly today. Away they go. We are going to let them cut this. Are they just gonna drive in circle? What are we doing? Yeah, we'll let them get this cut, and then we're going to go stare at these two plots of land I'm trying to decide between. Boy, Speed Racer. That's not gonna take them very long at all. So 16 here. A little bit of hilly still. And it looks like 32 over there is pretty hilly as well. But if we come all the way out here, it gets pretty flat. Can't even see our fields really from here. It's such a drop in the terrain. We are standing here looking at our new plot of land. I elected to go with 31, and I want to show you why. I think my primary original expansion is going to be filling in this little area here, and then we could potentially work on this one second. But I want to get closer to the store, so I want to expand this way first. So we're not coming all the way all the time. We do have some stores over here, but we seem to be going up here a lot more. So let's go get the international, and we're gonna make a new field. So we're gonna start prepping a new field, and we'll most likely try to save up some money for a planter so we can plant something like soybeans next year. And I know that doesn't necessarily help us right now because we would like, in September, we could get a crop in the ground, but I think it would be wise to hold off. Make sure we have enough money to completely prep this. We're gonna have to apply lime. And gosh, this could be somewhat of a large field. I don't think I wanna go all the way behind me to our boundary. Have some ideas for the cattle eventually. But I think it's time to make a decent sized field. We've got money coming in, so I'm not too concerned about being able to upgrade the harvester, and we're gonna deal with the slope here as well. It's hard to see our boundary over here. We don't have anything marking it yet, but I think it's about right where the cursor is now. So we have some room up there if we decide for cattle, or through here. And I'm thinking possibly where it gets a little flatter up here is where we will. Maybe this ends up being a large area for some facilities. Just trying to think through things. Got to make these roads look better. All right, though, I'm going to put some music on and get this grind over with. Well, thinking through what I just said, and I think soybeans would be a bad decision at this point because we wouldn't see the money from it if we waited till the soybeans were at peak price until June of year 4. So we're in September of year 2 right now. So I think that means we need to plant something else that we're going to be able to get money from it a lot quicker. Being that it's September, it's going to be wheat or barley most likely. Let's go ahead and get this put away. I'm going to clean it. I haven't noticed Bobby over there doing the mowing. Not as efficient at mowing as he is with the sawmill. Yeah, we brought Bobby back in the wrong series. It happens. And it looks like we're probably going to have to sell a little bit of lettuce later today because we're low on money. Yeah, look at that expansion, looking great. Wow, the 11 o'clock traffic hour is insane at the store. Must be people moving into town. All right, let's see how much we can get for 2,100. It looks like the water is taking away our money. We can afford 4. We'll see if that actually might be enough. It's gonna be close. Watching the mowing over there, I definitely think that's another upgrade we're gonna have to focus on soon. The harvester as well. So those are the 2 big items on top of mind for me. Hopefully we have enough lime here. 11,000 liters still. It seems to be going pretty good so far. So I think we might be okay. I take it back. If we do it this way, going up that hill, this tractor is struggling. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have to come back and go downhill each time here. Yeah, upgraded harvester is absolutely required, and at this point, I want to make sure that New Holland is strong enough, because we might be saving a lot of money for a new harvester. Yeah, that's much better. Now, I was kind of debating after this harvest to reconfigure these fields so that the long way runs that direction, but the slope is both ways, so I don't think anything we do besides get more powerful equipment is really going to help here. And we're tracking that way. We're tracking that way. It'll be a little bit before we get an upgraded tractor, so we'll have to deal with some of this back and forth, and I'm hoping by the time we get a harvester, it'll be able to handle the slope. Decisions. Yeah, not too annoying to have to go back to the top of the field each time. But if the field was any wider, I think it would be. So things to keep in mind. So unfortunately, it looks like when we plant wheat or barley, we're going to have both of our harvests at July, but we could hold off till August to do the canola harvest. Just trying to see if it made sense to wait till October to plant because we do need some fertilizer. So I'm going to just get the seeder closer to the field. And then I think I'm going to sell 2 pallets of lettuce just to get us a little bit of cash. All right, I decided to bring 3 with me, so we'll see. This should be more than enough to get us some cash for fertilizer. It is $7,800. Let's head to the store, get that product next. $3,800 worth of fertilizer. I think it was worth buying for now. At some point, I want to start getting to the point where we can stock up big time on this, so we're taking less trips to the store. We'll get some containers to store some fertilizer and lime and seed eventually. But for now, we're just buying what we can afford. I am concerned with the grass field though. Yeah, every once in a while these workers just can't handle this, so I don't know. I mean, it was course play, right, that I was doing because of that. So I think what I'm gonna do real quick is finish. Oh, the John Deere just struggles for power, or the Ford here. I think that's the issue. Okay, that's why that took so long. Yeah, we're abusing this Ford. I'll check the horsepower and see if it's gonna be able to handle the windrowing and tedding. Man, rookie. You know, sometimes you just gotta finish some tasks yourself. We got it done. We're gonna check the horsepower here next to see if we are okay to pull this off with the Ford, or if we need to just stick to doing one job at a time. We should be good with the tedder and rake. I think I will have to do the baling with the International though. So that means I can get them going with the tedding, and then I can get back to planting our future wheat field. I think I'm gonna go with wheat this time since we did barley once already. All right, we'll see if this is enough wheat. I don't know if it's gonna be. So far climbing the hill, the International's doing fine. 11 miles an hour is what we got it set at right now. I was wanting to go 12. Yeah, I think this is gonna work out okay. I don't know if this is the steepest spot. It seems like it might be. I think we got enough horses in here. And pulling in with a delivery of seed. You can see how far we got with the 300 liters we started with. We do have the windrowing going on next door on the field over there. And we're back at it. This should be plenty of capacity now. Well, we're just about done putting the wheat in the ground, and it looks like they're just about done with the windrowing as well. So pretty good timing. We're gonna have to swap out tractors. We'll get the Ford over here to take care of the weeds, and we will do the baling on the hayfield. But of course, we got to do our maintenance, and the baling is underway. I believe we might start saving the hay though, instead of selling it. I've been really debating, are we ready to get cattle? I don't think we're too far off from it, so I think that might be one of the things we start saving for this next cycle here. So we'll get to the point where we're in winter and hay's at a peak price, and we'll see how good we're sitting with lettuce and how much more money or more income we get from the sawmill, and then we'll make our decision on the hay at that point. Baling's all done. These runaway bales are insane. Just kind of straddled that one there. Oh, whoops. All right, we're done though. Let's go ahead and unload this one. What? Oh man, this slope. We didn't think through that. And we gotta wait for the Ford to get done because I have no idea what they've done on that field since we can't really see any difference in what they've hoed up versus what they haven't. So we'll let them finish that, and then we'll get those bales moved. That is all the time we have for today's episode. Thanks for hanging out on Cattle Ranch. Let me know what you think of the new formats. This is going to be what it is moving forward. I finally landed on what I want the channel to look like, and we'll probably be doing some live streams talking about that a little bit more here. You might have missed it already by the time this goes live, though. But I keep them on the channel at all times for you to check out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm Socks Way Up. I'll catch you on the next one. Last time on Cattle Ranch, we sold off lumber, got some nice upgrades of equipment, and bought some new land. We also planted some wheat, and over there you can see all the hay we baled. And I've made one big decision today. We're not ending, so we have cattle. Today, it's happening. By the end of this episode, we're gonna welcome our first herd to the ranch, but it's not as simple as buying cows. There's a lot to get done first. Let's get to work. The first thing you'll notice is the balance. It's at -710. We got hit with some fees overnight, and the water production, or not the production, but the automatic water to the greenhouses, financially it's hitting us. So we do have these wood chips here that should put us above zero again. So let's figure out exactly where we need to sell them and get some cash. And it looks like the farmer's market is the place to go for this. Probably should have brought the truck. This is quite the drive. A little silliness. Nah, they don't go here, right? No, they do. Okay. 3,700 liters. We didn't produce a lot, but it's definitely enough to get us back in the green. 2,300 bucks. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get us through to where lettuce is a good price, but we'll see. So our focus is going to be getting enough cash to be able to afford. Basically, we'll start with just a cheap meadow pasture, like an open pasture for the cattle. And we're going to do beef cattle. And then we'll work our way up to have, bigger facilities for the cattle. But this is primarily going to be a beef ranch, and we're not a dairy, so it doesn't make sense to have dairy cattle. So we're going down the beef route. Not as profitable, especially in this game, but I think it's best for what Cattle Ranch is supposed to be. And one thing we do have in mind is wanting to upgrade that harvester. We need to get to the point where we're selling things. Yeah, we could cut the grass. All right, let's nap. Okay, that loan interest, boy, it's hurting. It is hurting. So it's November. I think we're gonna leave it negative for now, but we can't use workers if we do that. Okay, we have a plan. Straw is at a pretty good price. So the animal dealer we go. That early morning traffic here on Comland, man, lots of people moving into town. I wonder if we'll start seeing houses. That brought in 10 grand. That definitely gives us a little bit of a cushion, but let's get back. We're gonna do another cut of the grass and produce some more hay. We'll probably sell a bunch of it today because we won't need all of it to start with for sure. And we got time to generate more. So let's get some cash out of what we have now. We did talk about wanting to upgrade the mower next, but I think we're probably at the point where we need to upgrade tractors first and just kind of deal with the equipment we have. We've done good with upgrading what we can already. We just got to do some grinding at this point and keep on progressing. Cruising up here because we're letting them get a head start on us on cutting the grass, and then we're going to start tedding it. But they might need quite a bit of a head start now that I remember how wide this thing is. So let's back out here. Hey, runaway bale. Let's rescue it. It's a fun find. It's taking them so long to turn around. My goodness. That's right. Okay, we're not tag teaming this. We are going to do this ourselves. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, what do you even... That's not even your course. Okay, sometimes when you want something done, you just do it yourself. And finally, all done cutting the grass. It is kind of sad that we have to do this all on our lonesome. And we can't, well, push the right buttons, but we can't tag team it with a worker. But I think the next phase we might be able to. Okay, they should be started on the tedding. I think they probably have the headland done by now that we're working our way back over here. So yeah, just finishing up the first headland, and then they'll start their ups and downs. And we will be able to just give them a tiny little head start, and we should be able to start rowing this up. And that should be more than enough of a head start. Let's go ahead and go to the far side of the field here and get rolling. Or raking. Oh, and this little spot got missed again. Don't know if if we can just pull it in and it turn into hay, or if it'll be grass. I might bring the tedder over there and just do that. That's some good cash right there. All right, they're done with that. I am going to sneak over to that other spot and ted it up because it's been 2 cycles now that it's done that. And I think it's just a waste to not make extra cash. But we'll have to come over here and row it up probably. It's going to throw it everywhere. Yeah, yeah, that's silly. We scoot over a little bit. Nope, it won't matter. I'm going to say maybe we could bring these 2 together. We still might be able to. Yeah, that's a good amount of money right there. That's smart. Okay, get the rowing done, and then we can get to baling. And after that, we'll be progressing to sell stuff. Got to get to the winter when prices are at their best. All right, done. Let's get the baler. Let's get this job done because I'm itching to see how much money we've got. We will have an expensive netting this time around, but that's no big deal. Just a tiny little cost added to production here. And we'll have to get some fertilizer put down. But honestly, I think we have months before we have to worry about that. I do want to get it out of the way so I don't forget, but I believe this is the one time where we could probably wait till March if we really wanted to, but I don't think it's completely in our best interest. All right, let's get this lowered and just cruise around for a little bit, picking up some bales. Oh, we're missing big time. There we go. Forgot the pickup width on this thing is pretty tiny. So it's almost like our swath is a little too wide here. Unless we go perfect on it, which isn't bad. We'll have to come back and get all that later. Well, let's get focused and get her done. Just so steep, so many runaway bales. It makes it hard to do the job. They get in the way, you gotta move them. The one's gonna run into this next swath that we're about to go over. Hopefully it has enough momentum to get past it, but it's awesome. We're making great progress. It's our fault for picking the steep plot to start with. I wanted to be close to the water and, you know, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna keep expanding. We're gonna keep expanding north. I got some fun plans for this expansion. I just hope I can pull it off. We're talking like probably 6 episodes from now before it all makes sense, but we got some cool stuff coming. Just trying to get all this hay picked up before the rain hit, but it just did. Got a little bit more to do. Shouldn't get too wet. Should be okay. I think we might have enough on this pass to fill this up. If not, we'll just do a partial bale here when I turn around. Yeah, not as much as I thought. That's okay. Let's hit the one bale that wasn't moving and just get this. And I think that will do it for the baling session. It's December. It's time to make some cash here. We're gonna go sell all the hay. It's gonna take multiple trips, but I've decided I am gonna sell it We have time before we can produce more for when the cattle arrive. We do have a partial bale in here, so we won't know the total amount per trip, but it'll give us a good idea. Alrighty. This place is starting to feel familiar. It's 14,000. All right, let's go get more. Selling session number 2. 15,000 with a full load. All right, we're at 36. Money's going up. All right, final load, driving in. I don't think we've lost, or I think we found all the runaway bales. Sitting at 50,000 already. This should get us, roughly $62,000. Then we have a ton of lettuce to sell. All right, final dollar amount of December coming in. 14,000 more, so yeah, 65,000 total. And I believe we have well over $100,000 worth of lettuce we're gonna sell soon. By the time it gets there, it's gonna be worth even more because we'll produce even more. That's the next step. Wow. Lettuce prices are actually on the decline at the moment. And we'll have to come back for those 4, but we got some cash. Second year here doing sales and pretty solid. It still says year 2 up there, which is lovely. I love that. 47,000 liters here, another 4,000, if not a little bit more. Yeah, we got plenty of cash to make some decisions today. All right, we're here. Ran into something there. Just in the ground, I guess. Oh boy. There we go. 150. All right, we're at 208. We're gonna jump down the hill again. Land it. Stick it. And go get some more. Is this door open? Who opened that door? We're gonna sneak in one more from each of these greenhouses too, at minimum today. All right, let's see how high we can get this dollar amount. 19 more thousand, so we're at 227. We're gonna keep an eye on the used market until we actually need to buy what we need to buy. But I see no reason to keep the existing harvester at this point. Let's get it sold. Sell the header, $4,000, and the harvester, 20,000. We're now at we're at $250,000. If we're gonna go with the New Holland, this would be ideal. It is used. Let's take a look. Wanted to see the horsepower, 155 compared to 100, so that's not a huge upgrade. What's to do? Prices are still pretty good for lettuce. We're gonna get a little bit of extra cash in here to help us fund what we want to do next. So March is when it says year 3. That's interesting. 18,000. So yeah, that'll be helpful. This is what I think we're gonna land on. Let's go ahead and buy it. Yeah, and I figured that was gonna be the next gap here, was to get the header. So we need a good amount of cash. All right. We know what to do. We got a few trees in this area that I think I'm gonna cut down and get them over to that production just to fund the header. I'm gonna change the output type of planks and long planks to selling to get rid of them because we have a decent amount in here and we're just gonna focus on wood beams. All ready to May. Wow. Grass should be ready to cut, but we're gonna let it go a little bit until we need to. Really wanna prioritize getting the header and getting to the harvest. Yeah, this is a way to do it. 9,000 wood beams, $78,000 there. That should be enough to get that header we need. We did hold off on buying the header, so we're gonna be a little short, but we have more stuff to sell. Look at this. First time we've seen one from the next pack. Interesting. All right, let's get another large amount of money. And that'll do it for lumber for now. And this might give us enough runway to get a silo as well. 60 more thousands. 180 total. Let's get that header purchased and get going on our canola harvest if it's ready. Is it not ready? Oh, another month. We're gonna get to July and get to going on the harvest. Lose a little money in hay, but we're not gonna be selling hay anymore. That's gonna be going to feed. We'll go with the smallest one for now. Should be fine, 105,000. And because I'm super undecided about what we're doing next, I think the silo is just gonna go out here for now, and it's probably gonna be temporary. It's gonna be temporary and the cheapest one that we really can find here. I think we'll go like this direction with it. Again, bear with me. We'll get a better location for all this stuff eventually. We're just trying to get by at this point. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Lower it like that. Super close to the field. We'll get it all figured out eventually though, guys. Got a little easier to drive to. Okay. Kind of cheesy, but It'll be all right. Of course, there's some rain to start our July harvest day. The wheels on this thing. Yeah, huge upgrade. We needed it. We could be set with this thing for a while. John Deere S760 in cab. Oh, I can't really see. I'm looking straight at the roof. Looks like double harvest today. Is that true? Are they both ready? Yeah, everything's ready. Time to get busy. Now I'm hoping this is enough power to where the slope doesn't matter anymore. We might have to go with something with tracks for tires or for wheels, however you say that, with tracks instead of wheels. But this extra width, is the pipe big enough? Yeah, we're good. We have a tiny little grain cart, so that might be something that we end up upgrading here soon as well. But here we go. Don't believe we can do any straw on this crop type. Nope. So it'll just be harvesting and flipping these fields. But this is beautiful. Around the headland once and starting the ups and downs here. Just about full. Seems to be a pretty good harvest. I'm not sure how canola should yield, but we do have, a pretty good yield bonus going here. So looking on the up and up, and we're gonna hold, what is this, 7,000? And we can upgrade this a ton for its capacity as we need to financially. Let's get our tiny little grain cart. See how annoyed with it we are. And it's parked this way. Oh, okay. 80 degrees today. Summer is here. Gonna top out at 86. Yeah, that's hilarious looking. Yeah, it'll hold it all. But next time we unload, it'll definitely be full. Not bad. All right, let's bust out this harvest and then get to that wheat harvest. Now, these numbers aren't the highest. I think we'll be fine, but we got to keep that in mind. Some of these fields, now that we're getting bigger equipment, might not be big enough long term. This one has, I guess we could change the road setup, and we might do that eventually once we get more land, is reconfigure these fields to be a little more efficient. But we'll get this unloaded and go use our silo for the first time, and I really do hate the location of it. I just need more land to build the farmyard that I really want. All right, dropping off canola for the first time. What's the capacity of this thing? Only 75,000. So we'll outgrow it quick, I hope. And maybe it'll be one of those things where it just goes away when the new real farmyard comes. Not like if we move it over there. We need a bigger one long term. All right. Get back over there, get them unloaded, and finish this harvest. And finishing up the first canola harvest on Cattle Ranch 25. Beautiful. Didn't quite fill this up again, but a pretty decent result here. Loving the new equipment. It's definitely going to be good enough. I think it was a wise decision. Okay, I have auto drive set up so that we should be good. We're going to have them get to weight and then unload. I'm testing it all out now, and we're going to get this started, but we're going to have a worker help us out here, and we're going to get the baler instantly with the Ford. We're going to get out of their way so we can finish testing this, though. Oh, they're going to the silo right away. Perfect. See them turn here. All right, we're good. We're good. We're solid. All right, let's get this course set up. Then we can get the baler going. Oh, is the tag not in the right spot here? Yeah, let's pull this a little bit farther. Try it out that time. We got to get a full cycle of it to make sure it's working. They are dropping swath. Perfect. Perfect. Things are tracking. All right, time to get rolling on the baling. And this tractor's not going to be able to do it, is it? Oh, Chris, we got to swap out. We've got to swap out. Okay, we can see them dumping now, so we have that all set up correctly. So we'll go interrupt them and swap out. It should be fine. This is how you interrupt, so. Yes, and we'll stop their job here. Take over this way. There they go. All right, we'll get some baling on the International. That thing needs unloaded soon, so we all get caught up. All right, let's get busy. Boy, the rolling bales sure does make this a little tougher. We're gonna let them completely turn around before we deal with that. Away we go. Come on, you got it. You gotta be able to avoid things. You're better than that. I think the size of the grain cart is kind of messing up our flow here as they're heading to unload. And the harvester's already ready to be unloaded. And they're moving at a snail's pace. So I have set this to unload when it gets to 60% full. And I'm hoping that means after they unload here, it'll be at 60%, it'll go straight to the silo. And that way we can speed up this progress a lot faster. As long as it hits that, yeah, it hits 60%, so we should be good. And that gives it some time to get back in a good cadence here, a good rhythm. Once they wiggle out of the way, the harvester should be able to get back to work and we can get back to baling. There it goes. And let's follow the Ford just to kind of see. It says it's unloading combine, waiting for room. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, maybe that I didn't hit apply. There it goes, exiting field now, generating path. Perfect. We'll let them get by. They're gonna go to their tag over there, their waypoints, and then they're going to head to the silo. And look at this timing. They did get back in time, so start unloading them, and they're done with the harvest. Yeah, we got this down. That was pretty quick. I don't know why it does this at this point of the harvest, but we will take over and finish it. They just started backing up even though they weren't done unloading. Maybe I need to check for an update again. There it is, it's empty. Get this dropped off, then we can move the harvester out of the way, finish the baling, and harvest season is concluded. I think that's what I was going for there. And taking a look in here, used a little bit, about half the capacity. We have 20,000 liters of canola, and it looks like about 20,000 liters of wheat. Yeah, good day. Great purchase here. Burned through a lot of our cash, but seemed well worth it to me. I'm not going to pick up the odds and ends. That'll conclude baling. So I took a little bit of time to build out the borders again. You can see over here on the left, there's a skinny little field we're going to make that's going to expand to the left long term. And I'm looking at expanding what was the wheat field, pretty much the rest of that plot, and start the cattle in the triangle over here. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's going to be a large enough space, but what I'm kind of thinking for expansion, let's just see. 15,000 to start. We went about right here, and we want to customize it. Ooh. Keep the fence somewhat on our border here. I don't know. We're going to run out of cash. I don't have enough money. Oh, no. Cancel. Yeah, that just ate all my money. That just ate all my cash for that. Why would it do that? And then I accidentally saved it. I'm gonna restore save, and we're gonna try again. I do want to get this going in July. I think what we're gonna do is just sell the lettuce. The prices aren't great, but I want to progress. I think this plan is wise. So we're gonna sell all the lettuce at this one greenhouse and see if that's enough. I mean, we have a lot. I think I'll go with just that. 11,000 of these. That should bring in, let's see what prices are right now, because I want about 20,000 more. Yeah, that'll be plenty, because this will give me around 30,000. Let's do it. Let's be careful. Let's get about 5 more. And there's our money, 44,000 here, so we're sitting at 96. That should be plenty to get that built. And what I think we're gonna do is we're going to get it built, and then the meadow will get created overnight. And in August, we can work on cutting some grass to make some hay so we have some feed for cattle, and then we can buy them. All right, let's see if we have enough this time. And this will be just the starter. We talked about that earlier on. We do have a water tank, so we'll have to get some water over here. But yes, we want to customize, and let's go ahead and hit to here. So we have 55 left still. Yeah, that'll do. And we plant the meadow. Let's head over there and take a look. Yeah, I think this will be great to start with. Terrain's a little terrible. I don't know if I can move this like other things to fix that. We can. Okay, well, it just moves that. Interesting. Yeah, save that. Let's give this a shot. Fences sticking up in the air, and there's nothing we can really do about that. I guess I should have flattened this out first. But this should do it. Oops, no. I want to move. Grab that. I think that'll do it. We gotta fix that a little bit. Let's go about right there. Got a hanging fence, but we'll be fine with that. Like I said, this will be temporary. Once we grow a little bit, we can get a better facility. And yeah, so meadow says 0, I believe overnight. Tomorrow that will get populated. And then we can fill this up with water. And it looks like it will hold 89, which isn't a bad start. Okay. I think there's no reason right now not to cut the grass. We still have daylight. Let's get the time rolling though, now that I'm done with all my prepping I was doing. Yeah, let's head in and get the mower, get that rolling. I guess July does have a good amount of daylight, so maybe we can get this whole process done in July. And away we go. I think it's time to start the upgrade. Let's do it. And that thing's gonna go on the back because we don't have the ability to put it on the front, but that'll be fine. Let's get this original mower sold. Bring back a little bit of cash, $4,000. All right, let's go pick up our new toy, and then we'll get this done a lot quicker. Tractor upgrade coming next, I think. I mean, will that one work on the back? Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we just wanted this, but we'll try it out. It was financially responsible. Oh, this is gonna be fun to drive by. Once we have cattle. We'll have to see, like, I don't know if you can change the fences. I haven't figured out a way to do that, like customize it later on, which would be lovely. I should have rounded this fence a little bit, but gotta bear with us. The first couple years, a lot of this stuff's temporary. We're gonna do a major redesign, just like we did with the first cattle ranch. Once we have enough land to get the layout that I'm looking for. Man, is this a mistake? Like, is this one that you have to push it forward for it to cut? And is it even wider? I think it's a little bit wider. Oh yeah, this is gonna be sweet. It's gonna be sweet. I don't like the triangle, but you know, like I said, beating the dead horse again. We'll get it better. We'll make it better. It's gonna be amazing. I don't believe TMR is required. I don't think their health will improve, or their size, or their value. I think they'll be at 100% health is what we've learned. So there is no reason to buy a wrapper. All right, let's see. Hopefully, it seems a little wobbly. Seems a little wobbly. But it turns on, and it doesn't cut. Okay, now we know. If I go this way, it will cut. Okay, well, the more you know. The more you know. We are gonna take a loss on that. We'll sell it. A little bit of a loss, 39,000. I think we gotta go with this one. And we should, yeah, I was gonna say, we should have plenty of power for this. Okay, I feel much better. We don't need a swath because we're doing hay anyways. And this width seems like about double. Yeah, I'm happy. Now, it makes me wonder also if this is something that a worker is going to be able to handle easier with this mower than the other one, but that it's still a side mower. It seemed to be what it was struggling with. I don't know, but this seemed a lot quicker. The extra width did help. Still not the ideal setup long term. We're getting there, baby steps. All right, all set with that. We're going to get the forge set up on the windrower again. And we'll do the raking and baling. And just like a couple months ago, we're gonna let them get a head start. I don't know why they had to do like a 6-point turn to turn around, but this worker's just stealing my money at this point. Stealing the cash. There they go. We got the speed override going on them now, so they should be able to go down this hill pretty quick. And that'll allow them to really give us a good head start here. I don't think we're in the way for the way they're turning around. I'm wondering if the settings just need to be changed for allowing them to turn around not in the field and then they can just do a loop. Let me look at that. Not 100% sure on this version of Horseplay. You can see how the whole time I was in the menu right now, they were turning around. We're gonna let them do one more up and down and then we will get started. We'll figure it all out. It's all good. We got time. Gonna back up all the way here. All right, these crashes are getting old. Getting old. All right, the game crashed on me. I think I got us caught up and did it a different route. I ended up having them mow, and then I did the tedding, and now you can see they're starting the windrowing, and I'm gonna get to baling right away. That's how we react. So we react to crashes. We just, persevere. And every like 45 seconds, I've been closing the game and hitting, doing this and that. That's what we do. But let's see if we can get through this. Get the much needed hay for our new cattle that we're about to buy in August here. And we're gonna have to go a little slower to keep up here. We'll shut off speed override. And man, this thing's filling up a little slow. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit here. Runaway bales. Maybe I'll go make myself a drink or snack or something and come back. I think we're finally starting to see some darkness here as we're really close to being done with the baling process. Looks like they're redoing their last row, apparently. Nice. Plenty of food for the new 2B cattle. You see plenty of bales around. It's going to last a long time because we're not going to buy a ton of cattle. But let's go ahead and hop out. Caught me flying. It's going to go ahead and hop out here and move this tractor out of the way so we can finish baling. And then we're going to make it August. Oh, we got to spray this we got to spray it for fertilizer or with fertilizer or spread fertilizer here. So I'm getting excited about getting those cows. We got to be patient though. We're all set. Super awesome. This is where we need to be. Well, we need to get a little more organized here and make sure we have enough room, or if we need to expand the farmyard at this point. Well, we did make the most of July and we're in August now. We have a nice rainy morning here. But it looks like we're gonna have a 92-degree day. Got the fertilizer done on the grass. These other two fields, they're just gonna sit for now. Need to really decide what I want to do with them, but we do know something that we want to do. Yeah, it might be making this bigger here, but we got to get some cattle. It's time. It's time. So what I want to do is drop this off. We need to get some water first. We're going to try to completely prepare for getting some cattle. We want to get some grass over there. I don't know, or some hay and some water, but I don't know if it's going to let us before we have them there. I can't remember if you can populate it with food before you have animals. We'll try. I feel like that's the right way. It's the day we know they're going to be delivered. We're excited. We're coming down here to make sure we can get some water for them the second they show up, so they feel welcomed in their new home. That's the way I'm looking at it. Just drive in here just a little bit and back her on in. And, in due time, we might get a well installed up there so we can make it a little easier on us. And we might need a bigger tanker eventually, because 2,000 at a time is just not going to cut it long term. With all this terrain change here and elevation, the next focus is going to be on more powerful equipment. I feel like we could move even faster on this series if we had some equipment that could just handle things a lot better. So these straw bales are going to be pretty much pointless for us outside of making money, because we're not going to be making any manure anytime soon. So we'll probably just sell those when prices are at their best. Yeah, this is way too far of a drive for a 2,000 liters at a time. So, you know, just making mental lists of the things we want to improve and purchase. And you can see we do have the bales waiting over here, so that's why we're using the Ford, so we can move those bales into the feeding section or compartment there. And this should have been smoothed out pretty good. Yeah, all right, I dig it. Yep, looks like it will let us pre-populate it with water. And it should show, yeah, almost 40,000 meadow if we get closer here. Yeah, 39,520. So that'll be good, but I haven't really 100% figured out exactly how that works yet in this game. Is it a certain time of year where they graze, or do they graze year-round until the food's gone? Yeah. I should slow down and figure all that out at some point. And we do have pallet forks, or we do have bale spikes, I should say. But, you know, these are already on here, and they work just fine. So it should, if we remember correctly from Riverbend Springs, it'll take this whole bale, and then we should be able to put a partial one in there as well. You know, unfortunately, we can't upgrade how much hay it holds. Is it not even going to take the whole thing? Oh, it's just really slowly doing it. Oh, we can hold 11,000. That's not terrible. I just wish that was a little more dynamic with the size of the field. Like, if we can hold 30,000 or 40,000 meadow, I wish we could also hold about 40,000 hay, and that's a runaway bale. Let's go get it. All right, patience, and go. Got it. So it does look like we'll be able to put another one in there as well. Get us a good start for getting these cattle delivered, and we only have $19,000, so that'll, you know, dictate how many we're able to buy. And we are going to go with Angus. Let's get one more bale, and we'll start cutting grass and making hay as we need it. Again, we're not going to use that as a revenue stream anymore. That one just finally disappeared. Perfect timing. And this one should just partially get emptied in there for now. Let's go ahead and hop out and take a look at that. Yep. So it should stop now at 11,250, and we still have, you know, 2,000 left in this bale. So pretty good. Let's see our options here. And eventually we'll get the equipment to move these around, but not yet. Let's go ahead and find our Angus here. And I think I do want to, let's grab a couple of these. We'll do 2 of the 18 months to start with. And I think we'll do, let's see, about 10 grand worth of the 6-month-olds. And I think that'll be a good start. We now have 12 cattle here. 12 Angus cattle. New livestock. Beautiful. Young enough to still be playful. And then we have the ones that are old enough to reproduce soon. There we are right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 2 of the 18 months. So they should be reproducing, I guess. I didn't see like male or female. Like, how did we do that part? Does it even tell us? I don't think it does. I think they're all just asexual at this point. Alrighty. That's where we're gonna end today. Gives us a nice start to year 3. We're officially through 2 years and 57 minutes. Man, I'm loving Cattle Ranch. Big plans, lots of expansion soon, a lot of bigger fields, bigger equipment coming our way, a lot more cattle, multiple facilities with cattle. Let's get up here and get a view over there. Yeah, come a long ways in just a handful of episodes. Thanks for hanging out on this episode of Cattle Ranch. I'm Socks Way Up. I'll catch you on the next one.